Everyone, my name is Ira Shields and I live in the beautiful town of Timiskaming Shores in Northern Ontario. Welcome to the first art adventure in academic drawing. I love drawing and I find that it's a very important base to any painting, and I have found a few things that work for me. And that's actually what I'm going to share with you today. And it's all about academic drawing, so it's a little different than what you normally would see out there. So welcome everyone. I hope you enjoy this. The HP pencil, we think it's so ordinary, and yet it is my most used tool in drawing. So I'm going to tell you how to create that wow factor in your drawings just by understanding a few little details. Sharpening is a very important thing, and the use of a very well sharpened pencil. Just an ordinary pencil, HP. Something that a school kid would use, actually. Right there it is. And of course everybody has one of these. Make sure you use a sharp one, because if you use a dull one, it's really not very easy. Take about 2 inches, so I'm going to start working my way like this. This will take a lot of time. It takes about anywhere from half an hour to an hour. Because the important thing is not to cut or chip your lead, which is in here. So once you get to a certain point, I will show you the next step. At this stage, we're wanting to get to a point that looks like this. Okay. And it will take time, so what I'm doing is actually going around in a circle this way, okay? But I'm also twirling my pencil, because if you don't twirl, you're going to get a flat edge, which doesn't create a point. So we need to twirl at the same time as you're going around in a circle. Because I want a really nice point. And there's no other way to do it, actually, that I'm aware of. This is more the academic way of drawing. So the old masters, they spent many hours doing this to their pencils. And they would do this to mini pencils.
Really?
So like 3, 4, 5 already done. Because the worst thing that can happen is you break your pencil and then you don't have another one to use. And then you have to spend an hour or half an hour to make your next one. So it's already starting to, if you see, you can see it's starting to already get to that point. Just have to be patient, just keep at it. Eventually you'll get there. And just dump the rest into your bucket. What I'm going to do is actually show the difference between a sharpened pencil this way versus a sharpened pencil the other way, which I have. There's the other pencil, but I can sharpen it a little more, just so that you can tell the difference. Everybody can see the difference. Okay. The other thing to point out, I just want to point out, is make sure that this part of the wood that you've twiddled away is right on that piece of pad. So when you're doing the circles and the twirls, that stays on there. Because otherwise you end up with a funny looking part. You want a nice smooth part, almost like a needle. Not as sharp though. And I'm going to check just to make sure. Because a lot of times you want to have at least an inch of that lead showing. I don't have quite that. And you want to have at least an inch up here. This just gives a nice gradual slope to it, which is really useful. Later on I'll show you how useful that point is. You see how all the dust is collecting? If you really want to be, if you want to use that powder later on, you just tap it into a little jar and you can use that powder later. So I'm just setting up, but I'm going to get something so I don't make marks on my drawing. Okay. I'm just going to do this whole area here. Really all what we want to do is just have a nice even value all the way across. And if you look at how I'm holding the pencil, you'll see that it's way back here. See right back here? There's a reason for that, because as I'm drawing this in, you'll see the texture of the paper starting to become more evident, which is fine right now. Later on we'll fix that, and I'll show you how. So I'm going to go a little faster. I'll just bring it slowly so you can see what I'm doing. I don't have to worry too much about detail yet. The main thing is to get the value down, make sure that it's all fairly even. But you're not going to get too even because there's a texture that's going to leave the white area. And that's what's so handy with these sharpened pencils. Now I'm going to show you what happens when we use something like this, which is sharpened, not as pointed as this one. Okay. I'm going to go up here because this shadow area here is actually quite strong in comparison. So this is quite shadow and this is lighter. I want to deepen that up a little more. I can get away using this, but I really have to concentrate on getting that pencil flat. Because the main thing is not to get any lines. You want very bandy lines. This is what you call a bandy line. This pencil does a better job. See how wide it is? I can do a lot of shading with a bandy line like that. Whereas the other one is trickier. But I'm going to try doing it anyways. And you're going to start noticing a few things. I'm already seeing it. My lines. But as I'm drawing, I'm also twirling my pencil. You may not notice me doing that, but that's what I do. Because the main thing is I want that point to stay. So if I don't twirl it, I'm going to have a flat edge. So I just keep twirling it. So I can keep using my pencil. Go back over to the eye because that's where I want to show you, because there's a lot of dark areas back in there. So this is just the HB. This is HB by Holland graphite. And I'm just going to do this area right here. And what I'm going to do is go right into these little white areas. So you really have to take your time at this. It's going to take some time. And it's also at the same time you have to do this very lightly. We want the texture of the paper to still be okay, exactly the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes you have to actually hold the pencil at almost a 90 degree until you get all those little spots out of the way. And you'll see as it starts to develop, it's darkening. This takes a lot of time, but it's well worth it. notice how it's deepening up. And I'm barely even putting any pressure. And I'll show you a little bit over here what I'm actually really doing. I'm actually going like this. This is what I'm doing. I'm focusing on getting all the little white spots. Okay, so it's really just like a little crazy 8. Like that. It's almost like you could do it when your hands are shaking. It's okay if your hands are shaking. So once you've done all this, I'm just going to take a few minutes to stand back and have a look at it. And see which areas became too dark, whether I have to darken it. Anyone else? So. Just continue. I'm not seeing anything standing out that's bothering me right now. So I'm just going to continue. At this point I don't really twirl. I don't need to. Just trying to get into those white areas, those little white spots, okay? Intentionally make a very dark area, which I don't like, and I'll show you how to fix that in a few minutes. Let's do another spot here. Just go a little deeper. And then get the eye. The eye is going to start just to emerge. That's the whole point. We want to just keep looking at our image. And so just slowly work. Just slowly work at it. Run yourself through. I'm already noticing my pencil is starting to get dull. Let's see if we can use this one. Probably not. It's not going to get in those holes. You'll see. Just watch. I'll do it down here and you'll see how it doesn't really get the holes. It just leaves these kind of light areas and dark areas, and that after a while gets really frustrating. You have to really try hard to get it in there. So I have to really focus on getting that pencil in there. Plus, I don't want to push too hard. It's very important not to push hard. Because once we flatten the texture, all we get is this shiny surface, which a lot of artists don't want.